Well, hey guys, welcome back to Canyon Creek. I'm Jeremy here in Southern Ohio. So if you're new to the channel, basically a couple years ago we bought this 140-acre property here in the foothills of Appalachia. Shortly after getting this property, we picked up a camera and started recording our adventures. We do all kinds of stuff, from Wood-Mizer sawmill action, horses, four-wheelers, tractors, skid loaders, dozers, dump trucks, blah, 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 blah. We do all kinds of stuff. Across the road, a vacant property had been abandoned for several years, came up for sale. I paid way too much, but we bought it. We're going to turn it into an Airbnb. And as you come to us today, we're at the process in this Airbnb renovation that we've got to do countertops. The first time I've ever done this is concrete countertops. So if you stumbled upon the channel today because of our concrete countertops in the title, you're in luck, because I've never done this before, and I'm going to hopefully show you how easy it can be. Behind us here we have all our materials, all the stuff we're going to need. We actually ordered that online. Very quick shipping. It came within 2 days, and we'll show you what we got and jump right into it. Now for our normal subscribers, for our normal viewers, hang with us. We're going to still have some fun today with you, and hopefully we're all going to learn something. First thing we want to do is we've got our concrete board. This will be our base. We're going to cut it to our exact dimensions, and then we'll silicone it down. And you might ask, can we just use regular plywood? I would not recommend that. Although it'd structurally be strong enough, you don't want the plywood wicking any moisture out of your concrete as it sets up. This concrete board will not let the moisture absorb. This doesn't take a lot, it's just pretty much holding it down. Once we get the concrete board, the weight will keep it pretty much in place. Here is the real beauty of this system by going through this company. They sell this form, it's a plastic form, that after we pour this plastic lip breaks off. And they have several different options to choose from. This is the basic countertop pattern. As I'm marking these 45s, I can see this is probably the first step that an average homeowner is going to get caught up on. You should have planks, so my best advice is cut you a piece off the corner, play with one scrap piece. Because with this profile, it's going to be tricky to cut on the miter saw. Before I cut this one to show you, I just found a scrap 3/4 inch board right here. That's going to help me cut this and hold this. Because without that, it would be hard to cut this and it not want to twist on us. So hopefully that helps somebody. All right, now where the stove goes. So we don't want the overhang on these two sides where the oven slides in. So I'll show you up close here, but we've got to put a little strip on here. I've just got some caulking on that to hold it in place temporarily. Because basically this cabinet has this little reveal, and we're going to put a board up here, and we don't want no concrete run through, so I had to rip that down in the table saw. And we're just going to take a scrap piece of maple, and we'll fasten up here, and that'll be our form. And then looking from the side, once it's all done, we pull these forms, you will not be able to see the cement board. The concrete will cover that. Getting closer, getting closer. All right, so probably 2 hours into the project, I want to tape these corners. So there's still a little separation. This back piece, they call that a screed guide. Basically, this is a place where I can just run my screed and get it nice and smooth. Now that we've got our forms done, and let me tell you, that sink was a nightmare. That was stupid. That was stupid. I don't know what to tell you about that. I think I do know what to tell you about that. All the videos I've seen, they do undermount sinks. We're doing a top mount. So I think the undermount should have been the thing that we done, because it was just a pain in the butt getting that form put up, and it took me as long to do that as it did to do all the rest of the prep up to this point. On a scale of 1 to 10 so far, guys, this is a very monotonous job. All right, time to pour concrete. These are our blue bags. We got these at Lowe's. The big box stores will carry those. Now this here is an admix. It's got some fiber, and it makes this concrete more flowable to go through that mesh that we have on our countertops. That came from the special place online. We'll mix that first, get that good and wet, and then we'll start adding concrete, dumping the forms. All right, hold on. Good draw. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Yep, no problem. Got all the concrete laid down. At this point, I feel like it's about as flat as I can get it at this point in the game. So when you do concrete, that's one of the biggest things a homeowner is going to struggle with is timing. You really got to get it flat and just leave it alone. Let it set up, and there's processes, there's stages you need to wait for before you do any more work to it. Because actually, at this point in the game, if I mess with it anymore, it's doing more harm than it's good. I feel really good about this project for the most part, except for this daggone sink. I don't feel good about the sink. Let's show you what I'm talking about. Concrete's gonna crack at its weakest point. Now riddle me this. I just got a hard time believing this thing is not gonna crack here and there, especially in the back. We've got a little more meat out front. Trying to read some reviews on concrete countertops, that's the biggest thing is cracking. You know, once this thing cracks, aesthetically, functionally, it's junk, it's hunka. To combat that, I'm gonna go one more step, and we're gonna reinforce it with some old Sawzall blades. Definitely won't harm the integrity of the concrete, and I'm hoping it'll strengthen it and hold it together. In my defense on this back little piece, if it does crack, the sink itself will pretty much cover that. So as long as I can structurally get it sound, so if it does crack, it should be visible. I think this will do the trick. It's just one extra step. Now you could use I went as far as finding a landscape spike, something like that, just something steel that's 8 to 10 inches long that can bridge that gap and help keep it from separating if it does crack. Well, it's been about 2 hours, 2 full hours, and this stuff is still pretty soft. Here's an opportunity to go over it one more time with our mag float. We got a different tool we're going to use next, but one more time with this. There again, another effort to get this surface level. You're really getting critical. As I come to the camera, I'm tilting it up a little bit. I go back, tilt it up. You don't want to go flat. You want to have it cranked up a little bit. All right, now it's 8:40 p.m. We poured this initially about 3:30. So 5 hours, and we're first going to hit it with the slick trowel. This will be the final tool we use on smoothing this surface. How do I know it's ready? Well, it's pretty tacky, it's pretty hard. I can push down and barely leave fingerprints. So here we go. We'll probably do this 3 times. So I've got to burn some midnight oil tonight. This is also the step you probably want to pay attention to your edges and make sure they're fairly clean. 9:38. One more time after this, I think. Now obviously as this gets harder, it takes a little more elbow grease to make these passes. Seven hours into it, this will be our last pass. That is smooth, baby. All right, here we are back at it the next day. This thing is hard. Our surfaces are hard. We're going to go ahead and break these forms off. We're going to sand this surface a little bit. I mean, it's smooth, but we want it glass smooth, right? Smooth as a baby's ass. Guys, I know this video has been boring. This is not our usual content. I mean, I've never poured concrete countertops before. But we usually do some cool stuff and have a little bit more fun than this daggone crap. We're just going to cut the tape on the corners and pop these things off. Now we're going to run the sander over it, and we're just basically, it's like, treat it like a piece of wood. Let's round the edges off a little bit, smooth that top up just a little bit more. And here's a pro tip. You do all the fun stuff, the manly stuff, then you gotta get your wife involved for the design stuff. It's not working. Talking to the camera.
All right. Don't piss in the wind because it will come back on you.
Loosen line.
It always finishes since the
There you go. There we go.
Don't ever piss in the wind because it's gonna come right back on you.
Oh yeah. Rhonda, would you recommend the average homeowner to install concrete countertops?
Hell no.
Alright,
That's what you were looking for? That's what it was after.
That was perfect. That's gonna make the video. Here we go. Time to seal these bad boys and really bring out the collar. What do you think, Coop? You camera shot? Sheesh. All right, here we go. We got the two-part epoxy system that we're going to use to seal this countertop. It's really going to be the last step. We're going to do 2 coats. We'll do 1 coat, let it dry, lightly sand it. I think I got some 400 grit sandpaper. We'll sand it down. It's really going to bring the shine out, the sheen, and almost make this thing ready. Are you guys enjoying this countertop? Because, as Rondo just said, it's not a fun project. And stick around to the end, because I'm going to go over my thoughts, my opinion on, do I think this is a homeowner-friendly project? The one thing I didn't do, and Lowe's didn't have any, was a tack cloth. It'd be nice to go over this with a tack cloth to just get any fine material. I went over it with towels in my hands, but a little tack cloth would really picked up anything left over. And don't freak out, it's going to go on white, but it'll turn clear. This is probably the easiest part of this daggone job. It's easy peasy, right? Alright, let's enjoy some lunch together. Today it's macaroni and cheese. So now we're going to talk about the concrete countertops. What I think are some of the pros and cons, and some deep thoughts, because I think I really have something important to tell you. First, let's talk about the pros of the concrete countertops. One, it's something that you can do yourself. So you don't have to just depend on a supplier to get granite, to deliver granite. You can do these yourself. Cost effective? I think so, and we'll talk more about that in just a second. Durability. I believe this is a very solid, durable product that should last the test of time. And as time goes by, we can reseal it to keep that crisp sheen that I've talked so much about in today's video. A few of the drawbacks that you probably don't want to hear, but you need to hear. I do not think this is an average homeowner's project. Now I think you can do the prep work. Obviously you can get the concrete, you can form it, you can do the staining part, the sealing part. I really think when it comes to mixing this and pouring it, I think most homeowners are going to struggle with that. We do a lot of concrete, and this really didn't give me any fits, but there's just several things as that concrete sets up and as you finish it that you need to know. You need to know timing, which timing is so crucial. And as this thing's set, it moves a little bit as you work at it, you get low spots. And you really got to be able to work that trowel pretty good to keep it pretty smooth. And I think that's the biggest thing that would frustrate the average homeowner if they were to tackle this project. Having said that, it's easy to get a concrete guy, somebody that's got some experience, but I'm sure you can get somebody to come over and after you have it formed, and especially if you can mix their concrete form, carry the buckets in, I think you'll have no trouble getting somebody to help you out to actually pour this top. Now if you do try to tackle it yourself, I don't see the end result being drastically a bad thing. I think you'll just see a more uneven finish, which maybe that is a goal that is not a big deal. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I would rank the hardness of this project at probably an 8. It did take some physical labor. It did take some little knowledge, not much. I'm not a smart guy and I can do it, so I'm sure you could get through most of this project yourself. But on the bonus side, I keep harping on all the videos about this Air BnB project, about how we're trying to tell a story. We're trying to tell a story with the maple shiplap, the walnut stairs. It's just, the whole thing is trying to tell a story. And there again, these concrete countertops are something that we were able to produce and tell one more story to this piece of the puzzle. Finally, cost. Tell me how much it cost, Jeremy. Tell me now. I talked to our cabinet supplier, and for granite, he thought we could have done this for about 1,800 bucks. This cost me $1,150 to pour these concrete countertops down. That's all the materials. That's the concrete board, that's the concrete, and the packages that I bought online from Concrete Countertop Solutions. But I've got some stuff left over where I can still do another countertop outside, and I think this concrete countertop system would be way more handy on an outside environment. I really do. So we're gonna actually do something outside with our remaining forms and additives, and we actually got a couple extra bags of concrete left over. Guys, if you have any questions, if you're trying to tackle your own concrete countertop project like we just did, a first-time guy, I'm getting all you got. Don't hesitate to shoot us an email. I'll put my email down in the description. Question in the comment section, and I'll answer your questions on concrete concrete countertops. Guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for working with us from the Air BnB, the woods at Cairn Creek. Over and out.